Welcome back. So we are continuing with the emerging needs of the new age organizations, in which we have already discussed about how the structures of organizations are transforming and how the organizations have become data driven, the role of HR analytics and how HR analytics can be effectively implemented in organizations. All of these dimensions we have reflected in the previous videos. In this video, we are going to continue our discussion with the emerging needs, and we are going to reflect on some more aspects of the new age organizations. Sustainability. I'm sure you must have very commonly heard of this term because this is becoming the new language of the organizations. What is sustainability? Well, sustainability is defined by United Nations Brundtland Commission in 1987 as a process of meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. The concept and the philosophy focuses on conserving the resources and utilizing them in an optimum manner so that it can also be saved for the future generations to come, because the resources are depleting over a period of time. There are various factors which are threatening this kind of issues related to the climate change. So all organizations are required to share their hand in the process of conserving these resources and helping the future generations to ensure that their needs are also met. Now, what does sustainability means to a workplace? In this context, workplaces have to be sensitive around what they are doing, how they are doing, and for whom they are doing. How their business is impacting the society, what are the implications of their activities and practices on the society and the people at large. All of these have concerns not just only related to people but also related to the environment, also related to the other species on the planet Earth. Now, developing certain sustainable solutions and adopting some kind of eco-friendly practices, communicating sustainability to its stakeholders by ensuring that they are accountable for their activities. Moreover, the reporting standards have to be established. All of these are certain ways in which organizations can stay relevant to their stakeholders, because it is very, very important to address the issues and concerns of the stakeholders. Nowadays, organizations are not only restricted towards the profit of their own employees and customers and to increase their sales. The perspective of organizations has emerged and evolved into a process of adopting stakeholder concerns and needs also into consideration. The impact of the organizational activities is going to impact the culture and society at large. This concept of sustainability is also supported by the philosophy of triple bottom line. Now, triple bottom line is becoming the basis of policy making of the new age organizations because it focuses on three important dimensions, one of which is its people. So people could be not just only the employees but also the managers or the clients or the customers, the suppliers, distributors. All these people who are directly associated with the business concerns of organizations are very important stakeholders of the organization, and that is why they must pay attention to not just only their economic interest with the organization but also the human concerns, their well-being, the welfare of these people is also very, very important. So building better relationships with the stakeholders related to not just only the business terms but also how the organization is interacting with them, giving value to them, respecting their rights and preferences. All of these are very, very important concern of the new age organizations. The second of the element is the profit. Now, when the organizations are addressing the concerns of sustainability and taking care of their people, focusing on the evolving needs of the stakeholders, an organization does not have to compromise on the aspect of profit making. An organization ensure that they must adopt certain practices and plans and goal setting that serves the best of the interest to the organization. An organization must scale up their business and they must ensure that the profit of the organization should be increased, and they should adopt all ethical policies and practices in doing so. So sustainability not at all had a purpose of declining profit for an organization and doing everything in charity and for good purpose. It is adopting a good behavior while earning profit. Moreover, the third element talks about the planet, wherein the organizational concerns should be related to the implications towards the environment, towards the species. It may include the rights of the animals also, the other species also, which are other than the human beings. on this planet Earth. So it is like they have their own rights also. The environment also has their own concerns. It's not just only that the resources are getting depleted, it is also that the resources should not be wasted or resources should not be harmed as well. So the organizations must promote and adopt all of those practices and policies that will help an organization to combat the implications of their work activities on the environment. So it is about the environmental concerns and also the animal rights, that these resources should not be harmed, should not be wasted, should not be overutilized for any purpose of earning profit by the organization. Thus, it is about making organizations more conscious about these important elements, which are not just only human beings working with them directly or indirectly associated with them as a stakeholder, such as local community people or the other organizations and institutions which are not directly working with the organization in business terms, but they are some spectators, some watchdog institutes, let us say some of the trade unions, labor unions, parties, some of the non-governmental organizations which are working for the people's right or human rights. So it's like these organizations, these people which are indirectly associated are also important for organization. So when they are planning their businesses and setting goals, when they are trying to adopt certain practices which are going to help organization to achieve sustainability, they must incorporate these stakes as well of these stakeholders. Moreover, taking care of the planet and the environmental concerns is an emerging philosophy that helps organizations to adopt better practices which are good not just only for the organization but also for the society. Now, Sustainable Development Goals is a global agenda which is being set by United Nations in 1992 at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. A kind of Agenda 21 was being established in 1992, and thereupon the world as a global forum understood this vision and tried to achieve these kinds of goals as a unified agenda, and all organizations thereupon started to think in a manner in which they can become sustainable in terms of not just what they are doing but also how they are doing and how their actions is going to affect the future generations to come. So this kind of concern and conscious philosophy is replicated into a draft called Sustainable Development Goals, which is an agenda for 2030, and all organizations are collectively working towards this direction to achieve this 17 global goals of the sustainability, and they try to incorporate this vision of the 17 targets into their policy making, into their practices, but also by fostering certain good habits into their people which are working with them within the organization and as stakeholders by taking care of their rights and concerns. So these are certain targets which has been established by United Nations and is becoming a direction of organizational practices these days and times to come. So this 2030 agenda adopted by all the United Nations members in 2015, and thereupon it is an agenda for the 15 years. These are 17 in number, and we could say that it is a collective call for all the developed and developing nations to come together and support this vision of sustainability at large. If we could see quickly the 17 goals, the first goal talks about reducing global poverty. So it is like by the end of 2030, the global agenda is that there should be zero poverty level across all the countries around the world, and the world is working towards this direction to reduce poverty by lending a hand of support and understanding the issues and challenges of this dimension, not just only in the developing nations, but the developed nations are also supporting this agenda as a global target to achieve. Moreover, the other goals which are again related to zero hunger, then well-being and health of the people in general, supporting quality education worldwide, promoting the ideas of gender equality, moreover clean water sanitation which is related to the natural resources, that every effort should be made in this direction to ensure that the water should be clean and it should be available in the required amount related to the hygiene and sanitation needs dependent upon the people and the population of the locality. Moreover, It is also about that the organizations should be responsive towards these elements, and the implications of their workplace practices should take care of these kind of environmental concerns, that the wastage of their factories, for example, or the residual from their factory settings should not impact the society and the resources around the locality in a negative perspective. So organizations can become responsive, must become responsive, and have to become responsive to these kinds of global goals, which is a collective agenda for the world to attain. Moreover, Moreover, decent work and economic growth, of course, the organizations have to focus on this strong element of earning profit. So organizations must ensure that they create decent job, great workplace culture, provide better work conditions, and ensure that more and more job opportunities will be created, and combat the need of the growing population by providing them sufficient number of jobs and economic opportunities. Moreover, industry, innovation and infrastructure, all organizations must develop and sustain a culture of innovation and must work towards the infrastructure development so that they can meet the changing needs of the time. Moreover, the organization should focus on reducing inequalities, sustainable cities and communities by promoting responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institution, and developing global partnerships. So all of these kind of 17 agendas which we could see happening in practices around us, we could see organizations responding to these kind of agendas and how they are incorporating this vision into their policy making. We are seeing around us that how the organizations are becoming responsive to the changing needs of time, and this is what we could say the emerging need of the new age organizations, that they must respond to this kind of situation and contribute towards this global agenda to achieve these goals for the betterment of not just only their own profit and business, but also to the development of the people around them and the society at large. Let us understand what are the main pillars of the sustainability at work. So we have understood the philosophy of sustainability. We understand that the main concern of a sustainability is the triple bottom line that ensures that the organization must take care of their people, the profit, and also the planet. But what are the main ways in which we could see sustainability happening in action? One of the major aspects of sustainability is to ensure that the organizations are relevant to the stakeholders. Now, stakeholders are mainly the employees, the customers, the clients, the suppliers who are doing business with the company, who are getting directly affected with the company. So they have the right to get the right knowledge that how the organization is functioning. And that can only be possible when the organization is transparently accountable for their operations and practices to the stakeholders at large. These kinds of informations must be available to public at large, those who are even not the direct stakeholders to the company, but to get a knowledge that how the organization is working and what they are doing and what kind of accountability they are adopting to communicate relevant matters to the stakeholders. So accounting and reporting is a very essential aspect of sustainability that will help organizations to build a trust capital with the stakeholders. Organizations must adopt some kind of accounting and reporting mechanism. They must adopt certain kind of policy procedures and a format to communicate important relevant information regarding the practices that they are adopting, regarding how they are achieving the goals and the targets set by the United Nations for the global workplaces and the global organizations. So what organizations are doing, this has to be communicated, and this communication has to be transparent in terms of accountability and responsibility. So the organization must adopt to certain sort of format, certain sort of guidelines. So one of the important guidelines which is globally used and widely accepted is the Global Reporting Initiative. It is a standard of reporting which is adopted by many of the organizations for sustainability reporting. This standard, since it is globally used and widely accepted, thus many of the organizations resort to these kind of guidelines too for the purpose of communicating with the stakeholders. The second important aspect of sustainability is ethics and governance. An organization must set certain key business ethical values. They must identify certain strong values and ethics to initiate, to communicate and to interact with the stakeholders, and not just only to interact but also to ensure that what they are doing must meet those values and those ethical criteria. Now this is, we could say, an internal consciousness and internal drive of organizations to stay relevant. Now let us assume that a customer who is buying your product and services is believing what you are communicating as information on your websites and on your products. So the customer is trusting the words of the organization. In this case, if there is a disparity between the quality of the product and service and the kind of statements that companies is making, or the claims that the company is making related to those products and services, the discrepancy is somewhere going to affect the trust capital, and it is going to affect it negatively in that manner. So to ensure that these things will remain in sync, the organization must ensure some quality parameters of values that they must adopt while doing business. Now these ethics and values are nothing but the virtues of organizations, and how they are going to maintain and develop the trust with the stakeholders, and how they are going to stay relevant to the stakeholders. So to sustain this positive relationship for the longer period of time, the organizations must not compromise on their ethical values and the governance mechanism that they ensure to make the practices and the policies in sync with the values of the organization. So governance provide the structure for an organization to function, while ethics represent the core values of the organization. Another dimension which is very important is the diversity, equality and the inclusion perspective. So DEI perspective is becoming the new vision of the policy making. The more and more organizations are expanding, the more and more organizations are evolving, the huge number of diversity is being added to the landscape of the work. Now we have to understand that the organizations not just have to provide decent employment opportunities, but also to ensure that their process is fair, impartial and indiscriminatory. Irrespective of the caste, color, creed and gender, the organizations must also ensure a culture of respect and a culture of value to provide equal space for people. The kind of culture that the organization must foster for their people should be inclusive, so that the minority will not feel neglected. In every organization, it's not necessary that everybody belongs to the same community or the same creed or the same color. So diversity, equality, inclusion is a policy framework that helps organization to treat their people fairly, respectfully and in an unjust manner. So their rights and dignity is protected. Another very important perspective of sustainability is to ensure that organizations must provide some opportunities for their people to display and demonstrate their altruism behavior and helping behavior. Now here we could say that the nature of initiatives should be altruistic and helping the society for the purpose of taking care of their needs. The organizations must provide certain opportunities for people to go out for helping to some kind of social initiatives or some kind of relief camps. These kind of opportunities will not just only give satisfaction to employees of serving other people and helping other people, but at the same time it is a very good strategy to engage people. So we could say an organization must ensure that they must design certain initiatives and provide opportunities for community engagement of their people. They will not just only feel satisfied at work because of this, but they must also be very happy to help other people, and such kind of community work will make them better employees, not just only employees, but also help them to become better people. Now let us look at some of the practices in which an organization can promote certain good habits with their employees, or how they can foster certain values of sustainability, and we could say some greener habits into their employees for the purpose of addressing the sustainability concerns also, but also ensuring that the ethical values, which are the foundational beliefs of the company, are also sustained, and the culture of an organization is the responsibility of the management. So an organization must take care of fostering good values into their people, so that they can build a long lasting relationship with them and also ensure that their culture is intact. So if the organization start promoting and encouraging and appreciating people to use the public transport instead of their private vehicles, that will not only serve the purpose of people coming on time, but it will also save a lot of time of the traffic, and it will also save the environmental impact. That is, they will cut down the emission of the fuel of the vehicles that is impacting negatively the environment. So it's like less of the pollution will take place if less of the vehicles will be on road. Moreover, this will help not just only to address the pollution and environmental concern, but it will also develop a habit of employees to resorting to the availability of the resources and not over and underutilization of the resources. Next is when the organizations can shift to some eco-friendly options of lighting, such as the organization can install certain solar panels for energy conservation and consumption. Moreover, the organizations can shift to some greener options of electricity. That will also help organization to understand that the organization, that will also give a message to the employees that the organizations are responsive to sustainability needs, and we have to also adopt these practices to become a part of the organization, not just as employees, but also adopting these habits and practices at our personal space. So this is only going to help organizations to communicate a message by not just only promoting and encouraging, but also demonstrating and providing such benefits and opportunities for people to learn some green habits. Moreover, an organization can promote a paperless work culture by using technology. They can start communicating with their people and stakeholders related to all important matters and use technology for the purpose of communication. So, adopting a paperless work culture is also a green initiative that is promoted by organizations. Moreover, an organization can promote their employees to invest in the office plants that will not only serve the purpose of purifying the environment, but it will also be looking visibly very, very good and will create a positive aura in the work culture. So that is a very good habit that can be promoted at workplaces. Moreover, organizations should also encourage using some recyclable utilities that could be, in their canteens, certain kind of recyclable cups and mugs and these kinds of utilities could be utilized. Moreover, the other kind of facilities that are provided by the company, related to sanitation and hygiene also. Moreover, the other utilities which are being used related to the stationery. So some recyclable options organizations must shift to, and it should demonstrate their people also that these are the better options. So we could say some of the options that will be utilized by organizations in terms of greener options, recyclable options. So we could say these are certain of the good practices that can be promoted in an organization that will not just only help employees to adopt better practices, but also to keep on performing these practices for the sustainability concern of an organization and to address the global concerns of depleting resources and taking care of the future generations. So in this way, an organization can contribute their bit by not just only adopting good policies and practices, but also promoting and encouraging good behaviors among their employees that will help them to not just only serve the need of the society, but also within the organization they can create a positive work culture by adopting some good green practices.